So with respect to e-learning, let's just start first with some stats, just to give you a sense of things. So last year we had 1% of our secondary students taking an e-learning course, and we'd like to see that improve. And I'm going to talk to some strategies around how we can get there. But out of that 1%, we had an 83% retention rate, and we're defining a retention rate as the number of students registered at the beginning of the course versus how many completed. So most of our withdrawals happen before full disclosure. A few happen after full disclosure, but the majority are before full disclosure. Identifying reasons why, often it's things around engagement, not what they expected, that e-learning wasn't for them. And so we're trying to address those issues, and we've got a number of strategies which I'll talk to momentarily on how we're doing that. And then out of that, we have between a 76 to 78% pass rate, which I think is quite good. I'd like to see that improve in the spirit of student success. I think that we want to look at the strategies that we're using with our students and make sure that we are providing every opportunity for the student to be successful with an e-learning course. And that comes around to our engagement piece as well. Some of the issues that we experience, definitely engagement and the perception of what e-learning is about is something that we're working on, and we're working on that at a number of different levels. We've met with the guidance heads and got some feedback, and for some of our guidance heads and some of our guidance counselors, e-learning is not seen as an option for all students. It's seen as an extreme option for very specific students when there's no other real option available for them, and we want to offer them something. And I think we need to work on that perception piece, because the reality is that our students are successful when they take e-learning, and that they can be engaged in the content, and that we are working actively to try to make it the best learning environment for them possible. And so we want it to be seen as e-learning being an option for all students, not just for some students. Some of that perception piece, I think, is actually is more gut instinct rather than actual statistical analysis. So if we look at a 70%, 8% pass rate among all our courses, both open, university, college, applied, and academic, I think that's actually a good pass rate and something we should be celebrating and looking towards improving as well. And having our guidance folks understand that e-learning can be an option for all students, and that there is benefit to taking an e-learning course for all of our students. That will help. And one of the strategies that we're using is engagement of our teachers. So our e-learning teachers are being actively encouraged to modify and add to the ministry content that's provided to them, so that they can bring in their own personality, their own flavor, and their own passion for their subject into their e-learning courses. So we've provided them with time throughout the semester to come in and learn not only how to use the Desire to Learn platform and the learning management system environment, but also to give them time and support to improve their content, so that what they're actually offering to the students is a bit more personalized and has their own excitement and energy in it, because we know that those teachers are engaged with their content. So now we just have to get them to transfer that engagement over to the students and get them to see why their specific subject is as exciting as they see it. In addition, we're also working with our teachers to be more active in contacting students and their parents when issues arise. So that idea of how do we improve student success, it's having that caring adult make a connection with the student, so the student realizes there is somebody on the other end who wants them to be successful and who's looking for them to be successful. And so we've been encouraging teachers to do that. In the past, that might not have happened as frequently as it would in a face-to-face class, but this year we've set up some strategies with our teachers around contacting our e-registrar, contacting the guidance counselor at the homeschool, encouraging the guidance counselors at the homeschool to touch base with the students to let them know that there is someone on the other end who wants them to be successful and is looking for them to stay engaged and involved in the course content. We've also done some one-on-one help sessions with students when they're struggling with content, and we've encouraged teachers to use tools such as Adobe Connect to actually bridge that digital gap, so that they feel more connected to the teacher and to the teacher to the students, so that we have a bit more of a relationship there. The hope is, with that extra effort in terms of seeing students be successful, that again will increase the likelihood of our guidance counselors seeing e-learning as a valuable and valid option for all of our students. That idea that they just place them into a course and then nothing happens and the student ends up dropping because they received no feedback is something that we're working from a perception point to change the perception, because the reality is that we are working quite hard to make those connections, and we want to involve our guidance counselors so that they can see all the work that's going on there. We're also working with our administrators and our principals and our vice principals in the schools to make them aware of the involvement and engagement of students in e-learning, and how valuable the e-learning experience really is. So we've got our vice principal, Simon Goodacre, who's our EVP. He's working on engagement with the principals and vice principals at the schools around the strength and value of an e-learning program. Um, in terms of where this is all going then and where we want to head with this, the idea then is that we want to increase the number of e-learning lines in our board. And in order to do that, we first need to increase the demand for e-learning. We need more students asking to take e-learning courses. So we're working with our corporate communications department on creating some videos to promote to students and to parents on e-learning, to promote why you would want to take e-learning as a possible option, and how to actually go about getting enrolled in a course, how to contact their guidance counselor to find out more information. And the idea there being that we want to improve not only the feel of an e-learning course, but we want to increase the demand so that we can then offer more courses. We've been looking actively at the courses that we do offer and trying to identify areas where there is need and trying to meet those needs with e-learning. And we want to continue on that good work and increase the overall enrollment in e-learning so that we have more than 1% of our students taking it, with the end goal being that by the increased demand, we'll be able to provide more lines for e-learning and grow the program over time.